Hello, guys, and welcome back to Nate's Sports Talk. I'm very excited about this topic that we're going to be doing. We're going to be doing my way too early Premier League predictions. We're going to go from bottom all the way to the top. Starting off in 20th place, we have Luton Town. Although they have an unbelievable story, if you do Football Manager, you see people who like to do Park the Prem series. You like to take a team from Vanarama North or South, Vanarama National, and take them all the way to the Premier League. And they've done it in real life. But as much as of a story that is, they just aren't good enough to make it in the Prem. They don't have the players to match their story. I see them going down with maybe 20, 25 points. I think it's going to be a really dismal season for them. Their top goal scorer leaves for AFCON in January, so that's definitely going to hurt them, and that factors into why I think that they're going to do so bad. Rob Edwards is their coach. I don't know anything about him, if I'm being honest. He could be good, he could be bad. I'm going to assume that he's bad. In 19th place, we have Sheffield United. They're not good enough. A lot of these players were guys who got relegated in their first time, their second season being in the Premier League. They haven't added new faces to the team very much, and the new faces that they have added are guys who are players brought in on loan. The Manchester City guys, I don't see them being able to bring them back, who were huge to their promotion push. In 18th, we have Nottingham Forest. Steve Cooper, I don't think, is a very good coach, and in order to survive relegation, you typically need one of the better coaches. You need at least better coaches than the surrounding teams, than teams around you. I don't think that he's better than those guys. They have no transfer strategy when they sign players. They just sign whoever feels good at the moment, basically. It's like when you play FIFA and you go out and you sign a left winger, and then you see, oh, well, there's a better left winger who's on the transfer market now. So you go buy him because he's better than the guy that you just signed. And then you go buy a striker just because you feel like it, even though you need a goalkeeper. That's basically what they do. In 17th, I have Burnley. I believe Vincent Kompany is a really good guy. He's an awesome coach. I think he brings a lot of the Pep Guardiola philosophy with him. He's done a lot with Anderlecht. I think that was a real good building experience for him to get the job here at Burnley and change the squad. Before him, they were a tough-to-beat squad. Under Sean Dyche, you had to bring your A game. They were going to play a low block, but now they play a good, exciting, attacking brand of football, which I think will be able to help keep them alive in the Premier League this season, but just barely. In 16th, we have Everton. Sean Dyche is a really good coach. I think he's done it before with Burnley. He's proven that he can keep teams up even when they're not good enough to be kept up. They have a really good goalkeeper. In order to stay up, I think you need those elite goalkeepers. And obviously, Jordan Pickford is an England international. He plays in the big games. He's their number one, and somehow he still plays for Everton. Even though I don't like the guy, I don't like Everton. I hope that they do get relegated. I just don't believe in my heart of hearts that they do. In 15th, we have Bournemouth. And literally on my notes, I just wrote, I believe in Gary O'Neill. I think that he was easily a Coach of the Year candidate. Bournemouth were a team that should have been 19th, 20th, along the side of Southampton. But they got 41 points this year. After a couple bad losses that they've had this season, they made up for it with Gary O'Neill beating Liverpool 1-0, getting a result against who was it? I think Arsenal. I think they got a result against Arsenal, but if it wasn't Arsenal, they got another result against another top 6 team. Results that you need in order to survive, and I think that they can do it again as long as they keep Gary O'Neill and they bring in a couple of good signings. In 14th, we have Wolves. I don't think that they're in danger of being relegated because they have Julian Lopetegui, but they just don't score enough goals. You can't have Diego Costa and think that you're going to score goals. Fortunately for them, he left. They're not bringing him back. It didn't work, and they've learned that. And now maybe you can bring in Fabio Silva. Maybe Fabio Silva comes in and does a job for him. Maybe Gonzalo Guedes comes back in and does a job for him, and they can have a mid-table finish, but I just don't believe that they do. I don't believe that they're good enough. In 13th, we have Crystal Palace. They're one of the only teams outside the three newly promoted teams who haven't experienced European football. Unbelievable fact, honestly. You would think that a team that's been in the Premier League for 10 years would have European football at some point, but Crystal Palace do not. And that factors into why I think that they will finish so low. They're a team that their goal is to just stay in the Premier League. They're losing Wilfred Zaha, but I don't think that's going to be that big of a loss. You have Adesanya Edward, Philip Mateta. You also have Olise, who are some really good players who can come in and fill in those shoes for Wilfred Zaha. Next up, which is a shocker, you have in 12th, I have Spurs. Harry Kane, I believe this is with Harry Kane leaving. If Harry Kane stays, then obviously they go up higher. They won't finish 12th. But this is assuming that Harry Kane goes off to Real Madrid. I think it's a move that he should go to. And I think it's one that he will do. The squad isn't good enough either. Even with Harry Kane, they finished 8th, and you look at the squad. Outside their front three, you have guys who just aren't top 6 quality. Most of them aren't even mid-table quality. You have Hugo Lloris who played, but he will be leaving. And as bad as Hugo Lloris was, what are you going to do? Start Fraser Forster? Like, come on. The team's a joke. The team's a joke. Daniel Levy's a joke. Postecoglou, I think, is a good signing as a coach, but when you give him a roster as bad as Spurs, you're not going to be able to do anything, and especially with the pressure all on him. I think he gets fired midway through the season, if not earlier, and they capitulate and they turn into a mid-table team like Chelsea. In 11th, I have West Ham. Even though that they'll be losing Declan Rice, I think that they will still have a pretty good season. I think with them having European football, that will help them be able to bring in players to replace Declan Rice. Maybe they go out. I don't know who they will go out and get, but maybe they can go out to one of the other top 5 leagues, bring a guy in, because we know how attractive the Premier League is, especially a Premier League team with European football. 10th place, I have Brentford. The loss of Ivan Toney will be massive for them, but I think that they have other guys around them and a really good coach who can help them keep the ship afloat, and I don't think that they'll be in danger of being relegated, but I won't be surprised if they are in a relegation battle this season. In 9th place, I have Chelsea. Their owners are horrendous owners. They don't know what they're doing. They don't know anything about football. To go from Roman Abramovich, who threw money at, yes, he threw money, but he was smart with the money that he threw. To go from that to Todd Bowley, who has no idea what he's doing. It doesn't even look like they have a transfer strategy. They just see that it looks like that they just go on social media and say, oh, Declan Rice is being attracted by Arsenal. We want him now. Or Moise Caicedo is being linked to Man City, and oh, now we want him. That's literally what they do. A lot of their key players are also leaving as well, and I think that will hurt them massively. 8th, you have Fulham. Marco Silva is a really good coach. He's not an elite level coach, but he's a tier right below that. I think he's a Europa League level manager. And with their squad, I think they have a good squad. João Palhinha, I think, is really good. He was massive in their success this year. Alexander Mitrovic was another guy who was massive. If he doesn't get suspended for those 8 games, I believe that they have European football. But the teams above them, I think, are just a little bit better. I think they're a year off from competing for Europe. In 7th, we have Brighton. Really good coach, and De Zerbi played unbelievable football. Really good, exciting, entertaining football that you just love to see. They have a really good squad. Even though they lost McAllister, they'll probably lose Caicedo. They somehow managed to bring in players that you've never heard of who somehow fit right in and are not just as good, but even better than the players who left. In 6th, Manchester United. I think that they benefited from a poor top 6 this past season, and I think that they won't be able to get away with it again, especially with the uncertainty of their owners. We have no idea who's going to be their owners next season. It could be the Glazers. It could be Sheikh Yassim, I think that's his name, or it could be Sir Jim Ratcliffe. Or they could just get a minority share, have someone come in and get a minority share and still beat the Glazers, which I would love. I would love for the Glazers to stay at Manchester United, keep ruining the club some more. Let Liverpool be the biggest club in England. Because honestly, if they get Sheikh Yassim, I don't think it'd be good for us. But on to 5th place, I think it's Aston Villa. Aston Villa, I think, are a really good team, especially Unai Emery. He's a Champions League level manager. He took Villarreal to a Champions League semifinal. That has to be their best accomplishment in their club's history. Not to throw shade at them, because, I mean, that's a really good accomplishment. But you wouldn't predict Villarreal to compete in a semifinal. And they beat some really good teams, too. Juve, Bayern Munich. They didn't just get lucky and play Porto and Benfica to be in respectfully. They have a really good squad. They have owners who are ambitious, willing to throw money, willing to back Unai Emery. And I think that will be massive to their Europa League challenge. And they have a full season. They don't have Steven Gerrard this year, who was, let's be honest, pretty bad for them. In 4th, I have Arsenal. They're not as good. They won't be as good as they were this year because I think other teams will be better than them. But if they get Declan Rice and Moise Caicedo, then they could be really dangerous. They could compete for the Premier League again. But I just don't see that happening. In 3rd place, Newcastle. With them getting Champions League football and having the money that their owners do, I think that they'll be able to get it in a couple big stars. Not elite level, but really good level. Guys who can come in and do a job. In 2nd, people aren't going to agree with me with this, but I have to. It's City. City are 2nd. There's no way that they're going to be able to beat the mighty Liverpool. Do I truly believe this? I don't know. But I think Liverpool will be able to come up on top. Jurgen Klopp is being back this season. He has Alexis McAllister. We're linked to Kefren Turam. We're linked to Manu Kone. We're linked to other center backs, right backs, other midfielders who could come in and revolutionize our entire team. Something that we haven't had. And bring in guys who are good enough to help us win a Premier League. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Do you think I'm crazy for having Liverpool in 1st place? Do you think I'm crazy for having Spurs in 12th and Chelsea in 9th? Please leave your comments down below and let me know what you guys think. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye-bye.